Hello dear friends, welcome to this tutorial where I'll guide you through all the basics of getting started in Procreate, of drawing in Procreate, the materials which you will be needing, how to set up the new canvas and how to navigate through all the functions of the Procreate. This is a very beginner friendly and basically this can be your first Procreate tutorial. We're not going to be diving into the brushes or anything like that today. We're just going to get through the basic functions of the Procreate, some of the basic gestures which will get you started with your creative journey. Besides, I'm going to show you how to create a mood board in order to get started with your creative process. Great, so first of all, let's talk about the materials which we will need for this tutorial. So we're obviously going to use Procreate for the iPad as our software. You can download it in the App Store for around $10. I'm not sure about the exact price right now, but it's definitely not pricey. It's very affordable and really great. Besides, I will be using the iPad. This is the third generation which I have purchased in 2021. This is iPad Pro and to me basically just feels as a totally new gadget and I haven't had any issues with it, so I can definitely recommend it. Besides, I'm using the Apple Pencil of the second generation. It's really great and gives a very natural feel as opposed to the digital art. It definitely makes you feel like you're creating the art with the brushes or the pencil. So basically the standard art media. There are also a couple of accessories I would like to talk about. First of all, I'm using this magnetic cover, which basically sticks to the back of my iPad and makes it safe at all times. Besides, I'm using the matte screen protector. It really adds to this paper-like kind of feeling, but also protects your screen from unwanted scratches. Besides, there is something like ergonomic Apple Pencil grip, also something you can purchase for a couple of dollars off the marketplace. It's basically a kind of a snug cover for your Apple Pencil, which makes your hand a little bit more relaxed. I do not use that because I don't draw that much lately, so it's up to you whether to purchase it or not. Okay, so now that we got our materials covered, let us get started with the basic functions of the Procreate. So once you open the app, the first thing you can see is your gallery. Here, if you click on the Procreate, you will be able to display the version of the Procreate which you have. You can restore the exemplary artworks, which I have already deleted from the iPad. These are around 4 or 5 artworks which showcase what you can create in Procreate. Great. So the home screen is your gallery, and the gallery is where all your artwork files are stored. Each artwork will be previewed here. You will be able to see the image, besides the name of your artwork and the canvas size or the dimensions of the canvas. In order to open the file which was already previously created, just tap on the file and it's going to be opened. In order to go back, simply click Gallery. Let us look at the functions in the right hand upper menu. Basically here you have the option Select. Let's click it. Upon tapping Select, you will be able to select multiple artworks and perform certain actions with them. For example, you can preview them, you can share them at your desktop computer, you can duplicate them, or you can delete them altogether. An interesting function or a useful function is the stack function, so the first one. In order to create a stack or kind of a folder, you can basically select the artworks which you want to group together and then click Stack. I'm not going to do it right now. I will show you how the stacks which I have previously created look like. So basically here's one stack and you can kind of see that there are multiple artworks in one folder. So for example, this one. I have already created this stack, so if I want to remove the artwork from the stack, I'm going to tap a certain artwork which I want to remove, then I'm going to drag it to the word stack, and once it's back here, I'm going to simply drop it. As you can see, this image is not a part of the stack anymore. If I want to add extra artworks to my already existing stacks, I'm doing the same thing, so I'm tapping and I'm dragging it over the stack, and then I'm dropping it somewhere here. Okay, so let's look at the second function. If you want to import the files from other programs into your Procreate, you can click that button. Besides, you can also import the photos from your camera roll into Procreate by clicking Photo. Before we create a new canvas and get started with our mood board, let us talk about the ways you can organize your gallery. As you can see, my gallery is not perfectly organized and I would like to work on that. But as you're just getting started with Procreate, I definitely suggest keeping your files nice and neat. In order to rename your file, tap on the text underneath of your preview and basically input any type of text you would like. If you would like to move your artwork around and put it somewhere in a different place at the end of your gallery, for example, or at the beginning, you can tap and drag it and then drop it in the place you would like it to stay. By swiping left on your preview, you can share, duplicate, or delete your artwork from the gallery altogether. So now that we're familiar with all the functions of the gallery, we can go ahead and create a new canvas. You can do that by tapping this plus in the right-hand upper menu. Once you tap plus, you will be able to see or preview all the presets. So these are the different default canvas sizes which you can choose from. I'm usually going with the screen size if that's just something I would like to create for myself. If that's something I would like to upload into social media, I'm then choosing square. And if it's something I'm going to print out, then I'm choosing other file sizes depending on the size of the paper I'm going to print this on. It is definitely better to create the bigger canvas from the beginning, since we will not be able to upscale the image later on. Since this is the raster illustration we're going to be working on and not the vector type of image, this will definitely lose some quality if you're planning to upscale it. So it's definitely better to choose the bigger size of the canvas. If you want to basically start creating your canvas from the beginning and choose the dimensions which are not available here, you can press on, you can tap this icon. So on the left hand side, you will be able to choose your units. I usually go with pixels, but you can choose inches or centimeters or millimeters. So let us stay with pixels and input 3600 pixels by 3600 pixels. I'm also going to go with the 300 dpi or dots per inch, which is going to ensure that upon printing my image looks good. The 300 dpi is the standard for quality printing. It means that the image will look good both on screen and in printing. I do not go lower than that, but if you go higher than that or you increase the size of your canvas, for example, you will see that the maximum layers amount is going to drop significantly. It means that larger canvases will limit the number of layers you will be able to create, but that's definitely not the issue and you can bypass that. But at this point, I also don't need that big of a canvas. So this is how you can adjust the canvas size. For now and for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm going to choose the screen size. So let's go ahead and press that. Okay, so once you are here on the main screen, you can basically explore a little bit. You can see that if you pinch your canvas, it's going to move around. You can zoom it in or you can zoom it out just as you do on your phone screen, so it's really intuitive. If you pinch two fingers together, it's going to fill your whole screen. So they say that the blank sheet of canvas or the blank sheet of paper is really intimidating for some artists because you basically don't know where to start. This is definitely the case for me, and sometimes when I open Procreate, I don't even know what I'm planning to create. So definitely the social media or the platforms like Pinterest are going to help us out in this case. If you're not sure what to create, it's definitely easier to gather inspiration first, to create a kind of a mood board which is going to guide your imagination. So today I would like to use Pinterest in order to browse some images to create the mood board, see what inspires me to create my next artwork. So let us go into Pinterest and see what we can find. Okay, so we're going to be looking for different color palettes, for poses, for, I don't know, some kind of animals which inspire us, and then we will create something totally new. So in my case, I would like to start maybe with looking at some landscapes. I would like to create something like a children's book illustration. So let's go ahead and search that. Let it be the cute, vibrant landscape, and see what we can find. I like this image, so once we press that and tap on this 3 dots, we will be able to download the image. I will then proceed to looking for different inspirations, so I will download the images which I like. So once I have my landscape, I will look for different characters. So I will look for children's book character and maybe find something really cute. I really like the emotions of this character, so I'm going to save it as well. I like this one, so maybe I will create something similar or inspired by that. This one is very whimsical and cute, so I'll download that one. This girl fishing is also very lovely. I like this one as well. Great, so now that we have all those images downloaded to our iPad, we're going to import them into Procreate. We're going to adjust them a little bit and create a very nice and lovely mood board, which is going to inspire our totally new artwork. Let's go back to Procreate, and I'm going to show you a very nice and very useful tip, which is the multitasking feature of the iPad. So in order to use the multitasking feature of the iPad, we're going to basically swipe up from the bottom of our screen, and this will allow us to see all the apps which we have added to our favorite, so to the bottom toolbar. You can adjust the apps which you see here. For example, if you want the Cricut design space here, you can drag and drop it right here. In my case, I don't need it, so I'm just going to put it back. And definitely recommend having your Pinterest here, your Safari, and your images here. I'm going to move my images app right here so I can access it from Procreate very easily. So once we open Procreate and swipe up, tap, drag, and drop your photos to the side. So now we can see that our screen is actually divided into between photos and Procreate. You can adjust it, you can leave a little window for a Procreate, or you can basically increase or decrease the size of the photos. I like it that way. You can also move it to the side, and basically now your screen is divided in half and you are able to interact with both. So if you want to get rid of this window, just swipe to the left and it's going to be closed. So we need our Photos app, so we're going to drop it to our screen once again. And here are all the images which we have saved as our inspiration. In order to add these photos to your canvas, we are simply going to drag and drop them from our Photos window. And it's already imported. Optionally, in order to import the image to your canvas, you can tap on the Actions button, and right here there is a function called Insert a Photo. So this accesses your photo gallery, and you can do the same thing. But if you have two screens, you can easily drag and drop your images to the canvas like we did before. Okay, so once your image is imported into Procreate, the function Move or Transform tool will automatically be activated. You can see that there is this outline with these blue dots in the corners. So it means that you can easily move or basically scale your image. Since we have our uniform function selected here, your image is going to be constrained, which means that it's going to stay consistent no matter the size of your image. If you want to change that, you can choose freeform, and then you will be able to stretch your image as you wish. Whenever I want to undo the unwanted action, I'm just using the gesture available in Procreate and tapping with my 2 fingers on the screen. So as you can see, all the actions which we have just performed are going to be undone. So the freeform and the uniform are the 2 most widely used options of the move and transform tool, so we're going to focus on them right now. So I'm going to close our photos in order to see all the functions in Procreate. Okay, so I'm going to zoom out on my canvas a little bit, and I'm going to position my image, for example, right here. Please note that if you move the image outside of your canvas and then click on the move or transform tool, it's going to confirm and the part of your image is going to be cut off without you being able to restore it. So be careful with that. I'm going to press with 2 fingers to undo that function. So basically, in this case, I'm clicking move and transform tool once again, and I'm positioning my image in my mood board. I'm going to choose uniform and I'm going to reduce the size of it a little bit and position it, for example, right here in the corner. Once you press on the transform tool, it's going to confirm and your image is going to be dropped on your canvas, so to say. Okay, let's import the next image, for example, this one. So I'm going to confirm this. However, I only want to select this boy. I don't want the landscape behind him or the background. So I'm going to choose the select tool in the left-hand side upper menu. And with the option freehand selected, I'm going to roughly outline him. In order to close your selection, press this dot which was created at the beginning. So I'm going to slide down with 3 fingers and I'm going to open the copy and paste menu. As you can see, we can cut him out, we can copy, we can duplicate him, we can cut and paste him. So since I want this boy to be cut out and then pasted on my canvas, I'm going to select the option cut and paste. As you can see, my move and transform tool was activated automatically. So once we tap on the screen and move him outside of the canvas, he will be kind of cut out. Let us increase this image and, I don't know, position it somewhere right here. I think that's fine. Click on the move and confirm your action. Okay, so let's import as previously our 3rd image. Let's drop it right here on the canvas. As you may notice, this image which we have imported as the latest one appears to be on top of all our previous images. So just like other digital image softwares, Procreate is using layers. Layers are really helpful if you want to, for example, change something on this particular layer and you don't want to mess up what you have underneath or on top of it. You can work on one layer without affecting all the other layers. So whenever you import a new image, it is always placed on a layer above the current one. Let us open the layers panel in order to see how they look like. So first of all, I want to include this girl maybe somewhere here. Let's drop it for now. Let's press move or transform in order to confirm. In order to view your layers, you can bring up the layers panel by tapping this button in the top right toolbar. As you can see, we already have 3 images here. So the first layer, then we have this boy which is cut out of the original image, and then we have this girl. If we want to move the layer, for example, we want this girl to be underneath all these previous images which we have imported, we have to tap and drag it wherever we want. So for example, I want to put it right here, so I'm going to drag it. By selecting the move or transform tool, we can actually make sure that now this layer is underneath this boy layer. So I'm basically going to position it right here and I'm going to increase the size of this girl. Let us see what other functions we have here. There is this visibility box. If we remove the tick or untick this box, we are not going to be able to see the girl anymore. We can make all the layers invisible, and then we can restore them by tapping the box. If we swipe to the left, we will be able to see the 3 functions we can perform with this layer. So for example, locking it means that you won't be able to edit this layer unless you unlock it. Duplicate the layer will obviously duplicate it, and delete function will delete your layer altogether. If by any chance you have deleted the layer which you didn't want to delete, you can tap with 2 fingers on your screen. If you want to redo the action, tap with 3 fingers on the screen. So basically in our case, this is where we started, so we're going to stay right here. If you tap on your layer, you will be able to bring up the variety of different options such as rename, select, copy, mask, clipping mask, invert, and so on. We're going to be looking at all of these functions in detail later on. For now, let's talk about merge down and combine down. So in our case, if we press merge down, the layer which we have selected the function on and the below layer is going to be merged into a single layer. Let's undo that action and select combine down. As you can see, these layers were combined into one group, which means that I can basically transform these layers together. I can delete them, I can duplicate them all together as one group, but the images still appear on 2 separate layers. Layer grouping is also extremely useful if you want to manipulate multiple layers at the same time, but if you want to ungroup the layer or remove certain images from the group, you can tap and drag them out of the group. Tap and drag them out. After your group is empty, you can basically delete it. The other way to group your layers is to swipe to the right, multiple layers, and then you can either delete them or group them all together. So as you can see, all of my layers are now in one group and I can manipulate them all together. We can also flatten the group, which means that all the layers will be merged together. Let's do that. As you can see, right now they're not in the group, they are all merged together in one layer. Let's undo that. Besides, in each layer you can see this little N letter. When we press on it, we will be able to see the layer blending modes. So in this case, it's normal. Blending modes change the way the current layer interacts with the layer which is below it. So you can definitely experiment with them. So let's, for example, choose the layer with the boy, and if you scroll through all the blending modes, you see how the layer with the boy is now interacting in a weird kind of ways with the layers which are below it. Let's go back to normal, and all the different blending modes and how we can play with them are going to be explained in upcoming videos. Besides, you can change the layer opacity here by dragging to the left and decreasing the opacity, and as you can see, our boy is right now a little bit see-through. So 100% or maximum opacity means that the image is not see-through at all. So right now, let us finish up our mood board. I'm going to bring up our photos and drag and drop some of the images. Okay, so our basic mood board is ready. If you tap with 4 fingers on the canvas, you will be able to see only the canvas without the action menus. So basically, we can go back to Pinterest and download some of the color palettes, but I think the basic idea of what we want to convey is right here. I want this to be a very nice, whimsical landscape, maybe in the mountains with a girl or a boy walking with the backpack in it. So we have started this tutorial with absolutely no idea of what we want to draw, but right now we're kind of on a good path. So I definitely recommend you to go ahead and create your first mood board with Procreate. This is definitely easy, but it is going to give you a little bit of the kickstart in your creative journey. Next time we're going to be looking into how to use the brushes in Procreate, how to start creating your own art, and this mood board is definitely going to be a little bit of the foundation for that. Thank you so much once again, and see you next time in the video, which is coming very, very soon. Bye!